Good evening, everyone. Debjani, are you there?
I'm there. I'm just waiting for everyone to join.
Yes, you can start. Maybe I've started recording. We can start with the session.
I'll start then.
Yes, please.
Okay. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Myself Devjani, and today we're gonna be having our 8 day of workshop on a very interesting topic and a very therapeutic topic, that is mandala and how we can make relevance of mandala in psychology in the form of art therapy. Okay. So I hope all of you are doing well. Okay. Okay. So I just wanted to ask, before I, take you all into the workshop, I just wanted to have a quick check with all of you. I hope that you all are in your respective homes and in a safe space. So can you just collect something from your surrounding that is circular in shape, something that represents a circle? Okay. Kyra says it's done. Done. Okay. There are 37 of you guys. So I want more responses. Okay. Rukai says it's done. 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 Okay. So I think I'm receiving a lot of responses. Thank you for that. And so I want any one of you to, like just switch, if possible, switch on your camera, or you can just unmute and speak, and let me know that whatever the form, whatever circular form that you have chosen, what connection do you find in that circular form that you have chosen? Like, it can be in form of your emotions, it can be form of your relationships, it can be form of how you're feeling toward, like what are your feelings towards it, anything, any thought, anything that you feel that it is representing or giving you any kind of a meaning. Anyone who wants to just unmute and speak, or even you can type in the texts, no issues. Hey, hi. Yeah, Kosha, go ahead.
Hi, ma'am. So,
Hi.
ma'am, I have used a rounder which I had on my study table.
Okay, very
Uh,
nice.
so, ma'am, I don't know, but I feel that this represents some internal locus of control or my inner world. I don't know. I am able to associate it with that.
So you are trying to tell me that it is a representation of your inner world?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you just describe me what inner, like what do you mean by inner world? Like what is the inner world?
See, ma'am,
And
in
yeah.
terms of my thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
emotions, feelings,
Mm-hmm.
beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
my opinion,
Okay. That
all
is,
about me. Like,
yeah, all about how you see yourself and how you're making your identity as a self, as a as an individual self.
ma'am, not perfect identity,
Huh.
but I would say something which is going on in my mind.
Okay, 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 okay. Something where you feel, a sense of connectedness.
Yeah,
Okay,
exploring that inner.
okay, okay. So exploring the thoughts through that circle, like it's a representation
Yes,
of your very integrated and very inner thoughts, right?
yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kosha, for switching on the camera and speaking. Okay. Uh, so anyone else who wants to speak or type something? I think there are a lot of you who have already told me that it's already done. Um,
Can I go?
yeah, yeah, kind of. Please go. Please go.
Yeah, okay. So sorry, I cannot switch my camera on
It's
right
okay.
now.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
so the circular object was I found a little box where I keep all my pen drives.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just took the cover of that box. So I am not sure what it represents, but since it's of a pink color, so I am just feeling happy just by looking at it. I don't know what else to, I don't know, perceive through it.
Okay, so so this happiness is somewhere making you feel safe.
Yeah, I mean, I love that box actually. Yeah, the the pen drives are very precious.
So something where there is a sense of safety, security, and also where a place where you feel that it gives you a sense of your own inner self, if I'm not very wrong.
Yes, maybe a sense of control as well
Sense of
because,
control, yeah,
yeah.
I think sense of control is also something which can be connected. Okay. Thank you, Ganath, for sharing that. Urvashi, the activity is you have to just, pick up any circular object from your present surrounding, wherever you are. So just pick up a circular object and you have to tell me, like your thoughts or your feelings and, how do you connect to the circular object, the reason behind picking up that particular circular object. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Okay, so Priyanka says Priyanka has already says I have a jewelry box. It's a kind of a space where I save my precious things, collectives, pebbles, leaves, etc. Okay. Okay, so I feel that there is a sense of connection, there is a sense of a safety and something that makes you feel where you can collect your precious things, something that defines you and the things that you value, right, Priyanka? Also privacy, yes. Okay, it's very important, I think, to even talk about how certain sacred spaces or important spaces gives us the privacy to explore ourselves. Okay. Kajra says, I picked up a round jar. Okay, it is transparent and I keep all my colorful markers and highlighter in it. Okay, Kajra, that's a very interesting, point that you have made. Do you like to speak something about it? Like, especially the word transparent. Can you tell me what you mean by transparent? Kajra, are you here? I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. But are you here? Okay, I think there is problem. Sorry, I'm outside. There's a lot of background noise, but it's kind of related to my personal traits. Okay, Kajra. So yeah, thank you, Kajra, for responding. So you connect this sacred, transparent space as a place where it reflects your personality traits. So I would say that transparency is something that you believe in, or you follow, or you have developed over the period of time, which is quite connected and relatable. So thank you so much for sharing that. Rukaya says, I have a glass which I regularly use. It's just comforting and making me calm down. Okay. So I would say that the circular representation helps you to, give you more peace, helps you to remain calm in difficult situations. This is something that you're trying to connect, Rukaya. Okay, yes, she says a yes. Aarti says, I have a circular protector. Okay, and I used to draw mandalas. Okay, so feeling happy as drawing makes me happy and I feel relaxed. Okay, yes, I think, of course, drawing is a very sacred space where we can connect to ourselves and which helps us to relax, which helps us to, calm down our mind and also helps in, connecting to ourselves more. Okay. Urvashi Chauhan says, I have a dream catcher, which is very colorful and makes me happy. So, yes, something that makes you happy, something which gives you, a state of probably, calmness and a place that makes you extremely, like jovial and joyful. So, yeah, okay. Urvashi, thank you for sharing that. Anyone else who wants to speak, guys? Come on, speak something. Okay. Jeff Bastin says, I'm using a glass coaster. The coaster itself doesn't make me feel anything, but having found something for this task makes me feel very relaxed. Okay, so right now I think, yeah, Shrishti, just a second. So right now I feel what you're trying to tell me, Bastin, is like, this circular object is helping you to feel more relaxed. So yeah, I think this is a sense of connection that we can make through the object that you've picked up. Yeah, Shrishti, go ahead. What? Unmute yourself and you can speak.
Right, so I will show my object, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So this base of like this toy
Mm-hmm.
is circular object, and this is a gift I got from my aunt because I
Okay.
like playing with it as a child, so she just gave it to me, and I feel like a sense of nostalgia when looking at it.
Okay. So I can also connect to that object as like, a base where, something is standing, like something that is supporting, uh, probably a place from where we can see that we are growing and something that help us to make us uh, connect to all the aspects where we can see and move forward in life and get up support. So the circle is probably a very supporting identity that I can connect to the object that you have shown me. I hope it is connecting to you too, Shrishti.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there are a lot more. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but it says Chinkirangibi. Okay, so if I'm wrong, please, I'm sorry about it. But then you say that I pick a round glass jar and I used to put water and wash my brush for my paint. I'm not sure how it is connected, but I paint when I'm confused. Okay, so I think like what you're trying to tell me from here is like when you are not in a very equilibrium state in your life, or there are a lot of thoughts, confusing thoughts, you try to connect to colors and paint, and this is something that you're connecting to the present circular object that you have picked up, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Oh,
actually Chinkai.
okay. Can you please tell me your name? Sorry.
You can call me Ching. It's short, so it's
Okay,
easy.
okay, okay,
Ching.
Ching. Okay, so I think I am I correct in understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vaivavi says, I picked up a tape because it was on my desk and I have no thoughts or feelings about it. Okay, so I would say that you are in very calm and relaxed state presently, which is very nice for me that, like at least there are no ongoing thoughts right now. And I wish you the same state. Um, and Roshiva says, I picked a clock. Okay. The numbers on the clock makes me realize how productively I'm utilizing my time. And that is giving me a sense of contentment. Okay. This is something which is, I think, can like a lot of us can connect to, like how time help us to become more productive in our life, and also give us, like when you do works on time, I think it also represent, like it gives you a sense of fulfillment and contentment. And also the clock being in the circular shape also, I think, represent the cycle that this time will always move and we have to also move accordingly. So yeah, I think it's a very good representation. Thank you, Roshiva. Sagarika Banerjee says, I picked up a circular coaster and I'm feeling happy to keep my cup of tea on it. It looks always ready with the same enthusiasm. Okay. So I think there is a sense of happiness, enthusiasm that you are trying to connect with a circular object. Babita says, I picked up plate because it was the only thing which first comes to my mind. It was a surface on which we serve dishes and eat happily, but haven't any feelings or emotions. Okay, so it is something, I think, it is an object that helps you in completion of a task, something that is very important, eating, and you connect it with the work and how it helps in improving or making it a part of your life, the work a part of your life every day. But you say there is no feelings and emotions. Okay. Anyone else who want to speak about it? Anything? Anyone? I'll just wait for another 1 minute before I move into the next part of the session. Okay, Vitvika says, I picked up a pen stand that I decoups holds my writing essentials. Okay, so okay, Vritika, can you just unmute yourself and tell me like why, like how do you connect it? Like what kind of a meaning do you connect to this object that you picked up?
Probably just comfort, because that's where I keep my pens that come in handy. So all the colorful pens that I use at times. So it's there. Just I think that's just comfort.
So for you, the circular object is representing comfort, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tons. Okay, taken. Thank you for sharing that, Ritika. Anyone else who want to speak anything? Vaishvi Gupta says, I use the tape to create clean border in my artwork, so I don't know what it means. Probably it helps you in, creating unhealthy boundaries and maintaining them. So I can connect, like if you ask me, you know, if you ask me what I feel about it, then I would say it probably helps in connecting certain boundaries, or like helping you to integrate yourself into a very uh in a space, in a sacred space where you think that okay, this is like my space where I can create certain things, and there is certain boundaries which I don't want to cross and I don't let other cross. So I think yeah, boundaries can be easily connected to it. So yeah, thank you Vaibhavi for sharing that. It was interesting. And this is the last one I'm taking. That is Manjima Mandal. He says that a lead which represent a boundary in my own space. Okay. Yeah, of course. I think it's a place where you have your ideas, your values, and your beliefs, and you try to like concentrate on those and reflect those in your daily life, right, Manjima? If I'm not very wrong. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I think let's move to the next part of the session. Just a second, guys. Okay, so I've already mentioned that today's workshop is based on mandala and psychology, and we are first going to be talking about the history of mandala and how do we connect mandala to our selves, and how do you create and how do you form the identities and our ideas, our values, our idea of our own self, and how do you reflect that in the outer world, and how mandala helps us to do that. Okay, so I will just brief you about the history, and it says that mandala dates back to the first century BCE. It is a form of art that is deeply rooted in Buddhism, which is nothing but the representation of an ideal form of universe. Mandala is originated from the Sanskrit word which represents circle, a sense of wholeness, something that we call as mandra, M-A-N-D-R-A. It is basically a complex art form which combines different geometric designs, circle being the major geometric design, and it has a huge symbolism, which is like it can be connected to a form of prayer while creating mandalas. It is also a form of meditation, and it is also very good for your, it is also considered a good exercise for your emotional well-being. So anyone who has any idea about mandalas or anything that you like have read about mandalas and you want to share, you can go ahead. Okay. Okay. Kosha, yeah, Kosha, go ahead.
Ma'am, so I have read this in personality psychology where Carl Jung and even Sigmund Freud, they have given descriptions. They even used it in their setting, I mean, in clinical and counseling setting, while they were like analyzing drawings and all of those things. So
Okay,
even
Kosha, and that is of course the the theoretical part
Mhm.
of how mandala has been used in the school of
Mhm.
psychotherapy by Carl Jung. We'll come to that, but
Okay.
in terms of history, you have any idea, like have you ever encountered the meaning of mandala? Have you ever come across the idea of the circle in mandala?
No, no.
Okay, okay. Anyone else want to speak? Yeah, maybe we'll talk about Carl Jung and psychotherapy in some times. But before, okay, Priyanka Mukherjee, yes, you can
Yeah,
go
hi.
ahead.
Yeah. So I have first come across the idea of mandala through chakras. Like
Oh yeah.
we talk about chakras, and I guess that alignment in the body. I guess that is the first time I noticed that pattern. And then when I was looking out for it, I could actually find that pattern into a lot other things, like uh, you know, maybe stones or pebbles, maybe not perfect circles, but there were repetitions of pattern that kind of made it look like it's a continuum. So yeah, that I could kind of figure.
Yeah, I think yeah, Shagirika, just give me a second. I'll come back to you. I think Priyanka, yeah, it's a very good idea that how even chakras and mandalas are highly connected in terms of like the circular presentation of the seven chakras, as well as we can see that there is a repetitive patterns of design that we try to form in mandalas while we try to create them. And absolutely like a very beautiful insight. Thank you for that, Priyanka. Yeah, Urvish, I think
Yeah, I'm there,
Yeah,
Sagarika.
Sagarika, sorry, yeah, go
So,
ahead.
as you said, mandala means circles.
Mm-hmm.
So, these are, I think, so these are the most richest visual objects,
Yeah,
and it symbolizes the universe,
yes. It represents the wholeness of the universe.
wholeness of the universe, and the circles of mandala also like shows the continuity of the universe.
More than continuity, I would like to say, Sagarika, is it shows a cycle of the universe, like, the
Yeah,
cycle of
yeah.
life.
Cycle means goes continuously, so it's a continuity. I think
Yeah,
so.
it's a continuity of and a cycle which represent the human the process of life and death, like no
Yeah,
matter what,
correct,
wherever we're
correct.
moving in the
Mhm.
cosmos, in the universe, there is only one truth, that you are given a life, and there will be a cycle of life and death, which is a continuous process. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for sharing
Thank you
that.
very much.
Anyone wants who wants to just unmute and speak anything that little things, anything? Okay, so I'll just go into the meaning of mandala. So as we have seen that mandala is basically formed from a small circle, and then we are multiplying the circle in the form of concentric circles. And we can see that from that small circle, what happens when we are making the concentric cycle, it becomes bigger in sizes. So it basically says that mandala has three basic layers. So when you create the mandala, there are three basic layers, and it signifies the meaning as such. The outer layer represents the divine form of the universe, and the inner layer says that it's a map to guide the mind to enlightenment here means a very state of an equilibrium mind where we have no thoughts. And as we have seen that in Buddhism, because it's stemming out from Buddhism, it says you reach your highest consciousness when there is no thought coming in. So it is like how you guide your mind to be enlightened. And there is a secret layer which basically remains between the artist and the creation. So whatever the artist is creating and whatever he is connecting to that creation is the representation of the secret layer. So the small circle that we make from the center of the page is the inner self, and then the concentric circles that we try to make from that is a divine form of the universe. So you are representing the universe through your enlightened self. And we have seen, like, while we make the mandalas, like when we are trying to make the circles, we divide it into 8 spokes. Like we try dividing it into majorly into 8 grids before we put the patterns. And this 8 spokes are basically, the 8 unfold path of meaning of life that Buddhism represents. And it says that it is the most highest and perfect representation of the universe in an artistic form. And basically we can see that, when the artist connects to himself or herself, and whatever representation that he's trying to bring out from the self, that he's creating from the center of the page, is nothing but an artistic representation of the perfect universe. So how many of you can relate to this? Yeah, Kosha, go ahead.
Ma'am, I just have a doubt. So you said there are three basic layers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the
Mm-hmm.
inner layer is the self, the
Hmm.
smallest circle.
Hmm.
The outer layer represents a divine form of universe.
Hmm.
And what about other
Okay,
layer?
so
Yeah.
so you are going in the point, in the
Mhm.
center of the point in the page, or any
Mhm.
space in where you are creating mandala.
Mhm.
The first circle is the most smallest one, right?
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
there we are trying to bring the bigger concentric circles, right? So it is
Yes.
the connection of the self, and how the like when we are creating the self, it is said that we are into our highest form of personal identity, or uh, like a very concrete self-developed identity, where we know that who we are, and from there we are connecting to the divine cosmic energy, right?
Mhm. Yes.
And there is a secret layer is the
Mhm.
feeling, the representation
Okay.
of the feeling between the artist and what he has created, like how I am representing my art in connection with the divine form. But the divine form can be your higher self, your spirit, your intuition, your connection with the nature, with the cosmos. How you connect, probably, in the concept of God, in the concept of your higher self, in the concept of your intuition, in the concept of your psychic, anything.
Mhm.
And in this
Okay.
process there lies something that's very secret, like when mandalas are something that is immensely therapeutic, in the sense, like when you start creating the circles, you will
Mhm.
notice that the patterns that you are developing is something that is coming from your own intuitions. Sometimes people are
Mhm.
in the flow. It says the flow is so meditative that there is always a secret relationship that we are creating while making the ultimate form and the representation of the
Mhm.
universe from our sense of self.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes. Thank you.
Anyone who wants to reflect something on this, or anyone who has ever created a mandala and have felt this process to be so, Vaivavi, please go ahead.
I have a thing like I never felt therapeutic. It's like it takes too much patience, and I lack it. And if I, ruin some design, and I just leave it incomplete. So that's
Okay.
how I feel with mandala.
Yeah. So, Vaivavi, in this sense, what I feel is like, probably what we are trying to talk here is, we don't focus on the perfection of the patterns that a person is creating. So, if you ask me, for me, mandala is a form of scribbling also. When I am into a very anxiety mood, or when my thoughts are out of control, I just simply take a pen, put a circle, and start scribbling into it. So this is something that help us to like connect back to ourselves, like help us to release those thoughts which are probably disturbing our mind at that point of time. And in terms of destroying it, as you mentioned, I think it is also a very important point that you have tried bringing in. Mandala, in its origin, in history, says that we have all right, we make a mandala and we destroy mandala, because destruction is also a point from where we realize that, every time we destroy, we have to create something new. So destruction is a very much integral part of creating something new. Yeah, but the idea, Vaibhavi, the idea of perfectness. Wait, Roshiva, let me just address Vaibhavi once, then I'll come back to you. So idea of creating perfect mandala is very different. Probably for the therapeutic part that I mentioned here, we don't actually focus on how, intricate, how beautiful, how colorful the design will be. We only understand it through whatever your mind, however the thoughts are going, the flow of the design will go from that point of time.
All right. I just, on Instagram, I see perfect mandalas and I try
Yes,
to
yes, I
recreate.
know,
So
I know,
it's
I
not,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people who are trying to make mandala perfect, which I'm of course not criticizing, are not also talking about the therapeutic aspect of it. A lot of people are unaware of it. And I believe that, like, that's why I'm telling you, next time when you are into any kind of an, anxious mood, or you're feeling very, thoughts are going out of your control, just take a protector or take a compass, draw some concentric circles, and start scribbling, and you will see that the flow of your thoughts is, like in equivalent, it will come in an equivalent form when you're trying to draw those patterns. The more, like, the speed of your thoughts will be equivalent to the speed of the patterns that you're creating on the paper, which will actually help you to release those, negative thoughts or those feelings of whatever situations you are in. I hope I'm making sense, Vaivavi. Okay, hi.
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. I'm not saying, I'm not discouraging you for not making a perfect mandala. Please go ahead and make it.
No, it's like I never really understood mandala, and I think this session is, giving me a more depth into it, and I might, create the one therapeutic one.
Yes, 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 yes. Kosha, yeah, Kosha, go ahead. Oh, I can see a beautiful mandala already. Kosha, I think, has painted
Uh,
this.
Ma'am, actually, I'm a professional painting artist.
Oh, wow.
This is something I did. It's a form of coloring. I've not drawn it, but
Mm-hmm.
like the only coloring part is again a very therapeutic thing. I just
Yes, 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 yes. It's
wanted to
beautiful.
share.
Thank you for sharing
Thank
this
you.
with us, Kosha. Okay, so we'll just move into the next slide. Okay. Now here comes the most important part of our ideas of mandala. Though, like, as I've already mentioned, historically we know that mandala is a part of the Eastern culture, and it also stemming out of Buddhism. And later we have seen the integration of mandala into Hindu architectures and Hindu scriptures. But this was first brought into the modern Western psychotherapy by Carl Jung, who is one of the famous Swiss psychiatrists, and whose contribution in the field of psychology is, I think, is known to all of us. And he has intensively worked on mandala, and he says he has made this like he has connected mandala to the idea of individuation. How many of you are aware of this individuation? Any idea about it? Anyone? Okay, so I'll just go ahead and try to explain this to you so that, you have a better understanding about why he has brought such an intensive idea of individuation into the therapy, the mandala, an art form. Okay, let me see. I think someone wants to say. Priyanka, yeah, Priyanka, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just have a very kind of superficial understanding of it. But individuation is, I guess, that thing, like, the way I feel things and the way you feel things are different. Even if the same experiences might be different for us, and so would be our expressions of it. And if we even look at our mandalas or something like that, I think that might be different. So when he talks about symbols,
Priyanka, can you just be a little louder? Because I really can't hear you properly. Yeah, can you
yeah,
just be a little louder? Yeah, yeah.
sorry, sorry. Yeah. So, what I was saying that our experiences are a bit different. Like the way we experience it are different. And the way we express it is also different. So when he talks about symbols in general, he talks about the fact that it also matters. Like it comes to us differently. So individuation is kind of a process where, I mean, we try to see our own expressions in the light of the general idea,
Okay. Yeah.
and also
Yeah. So you are trying to tell me like a sense of self in the process of individuation?
yeah, yes, kind of, and in the light of understanding of the general as well. So both.
Yeah. So I would say that, like what basically and what, the core theory talks about individuation is like, he says that as a person, when you gain certain clarity about yourself, like when you are growing as a individual, whether, you're a man or a woman, we all grow up from our, childhood to our teenage and to our adolescence ages. So we try to probably try to get a clear sense of our own selves, right? Like it might be very separate from the ideas that has been inscribed into our mind by our parents, or probably by our peers in our schools, in whatever interactive zones and community we are in. Thoughts comes in, ideas, values, some people like keeps interchanging. So he says that when a person individuates, like means when the person is growing, when a person is questioning that who am I, what kind of sense of self I am developing, and how are these ideas, this conflicting ideas, or this sorry the emerging ideas, new emerging ideas about self are completely or probably different from what has been taught to us by our immediate caregivers or by our immediate surroundings. So it is says that it is a process of connecting to our highest personal development, how we are connecting to what we believe and what we feel like it says that it emerges during a process of immense personal growth. By personal growth, what we try to understand here is personal growth cannot be only be limited to different phases of growth that an individual is growing. It can also be from a period where probably you are in a very bad phase of your life, and from there you are connecting to the idea of who am I, what am I doing, am I in the right track, am I in the wrong track. And from there, when this kind of a question emerges within ourselves, and when we try to address them instead suppressing them, is a place from where our growth starts, is a place from where we try to strike a balance with our mind and whatever we are feeling and thinking. So in individuation process, we get a chance to integrate our personality in a more concrete form, right? Am I making sense here? So the small circle that I spoke about, that we're making from the center of the page, and we are seeing that how it is outgrowing into bigger circle in the concentric forms, is basically coming from an idea of individualization. That is where we know that our personal growth is taking place, and when we are connecting to our own selves, we're making our own values, our own rules, whatever we feel is correct for us, whatever we feel will define our personality. And from that self will grow like how we'll grow in an immense form, so that we can connect to the outer reality, right? Anyone who wants to speak or reflect something on it, if you have not understood, you can tell me, I can repeat it once again for all of you.
Ma'am, I had a question.
Sure. Sorry, who is this? Kainath, yeah, go ahead, Kainath.
Ma'am, you're talking about the basic three layers and a lot of symbolism here, right? But when we use it in therapy, so only the therapist or the person, the counselor is aware of these deep meanings. The individual himself or herself is not. So, do you think that their subjective representation might be different from what we are trying to analyze, or we might try to fit in their perspective into what we think is right?
See, it depends, Kainat, because like when I am into a therapy session, I have to understand like what condition that person is in. Like in a lot of cases, we have to also understand that mandala can't always be presented into a clinical setup. It can't be. At times, we have to understand that the state of the emotional turmoil that the person is going through, defining it in your terms or in like the counselor terms. I would say in my session, if I have ever applied mandala, what I have tried is like, of course I have asked them to like go through the flow of the thoughts and then try to bring something in a form of mandala. And whatever I do is I ask them how do they feel and what are they connecting to that circle that they're making right in front of me. From there, yes, I do put my insights and I definitely ask them whether they can relate to it. So this is what something that I do.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Basically after they are done with their mandalas,
Yeah.
you try to ask them what they are connecting it
Yes.
with. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
that's
See, you have to understand that it is basically a process which is always helping us to release our immediate negative thoughts,
right.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
in this process, like the first question that comes to me as a counselor, how are you feeling after making this?
Right.
So when you make this entire circle, like when, like suppose when I was in a phase of depression, when I started making mandala, and that happened very naturally to me. So when I started making that small circle, I could easily understand, okay, the sense of self for me was very anxious at point of time. So whatever I was trying to make out of it was used to be very haphazard. I couldn't like put my entire concentration. I was not even able to form the the so-called good mandala that we call about, right? The intrinsic idea of forming a good mandala. So that point of time when I was connecting to that dot and forming the small circle, I could easily feel that okay, my sense of self is very distorted right now. It is it is seeking something, probably some kind of a peace deflection. It is not trying to accept the reality right now. And from there, like I stopped in making small. My first mandala is very small. It never used to have very intricate designs and all. I just used to do it for the sake of it. But then the certain sense of my negative thoughts that I could connect while I take the protector and the compass and try making it. I hope I'm making sense to you, Kainat.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so, and I would just love to, like quote a very important quote. Like Jung was very much intensively connected to Indian traditions and Eastern traditions, and he was very much connected to mandala. Like he used to, I don't know how much of you are aware of his history, but there used to be a very private space that used to be away from his home in Switzerland, and he used to travel to this place after all his work is done. And there he says that he started creating his first mandala. And what he quotes about the mandala is, my mandalas were cryptograms concerning the state of the self, which were presented to me anew each day. In them, I saw the self, that is my whole being. So you, the more like you try making these designs, the more like in my case I can like channel this point, like from the first day when I made that small anxious me to the place where I started having a control over my emotions, to the place where I started making myself and I didn't feel anything. So like probably a better state when I was improving to that state, my meaning towards my world, my outer world started changing, because my growth, my internal emotional growth started taking place through this art. It was a very intensive, rigorous process, and I was doing it, and I could easily relate that okay, this is a point and this is a time when I can connect, like that self of me that was so anxious is now developing to a place, to a point where I can connect myself to the outer contribution, the materialistic world that I can give, and which is no more anxious, right? Everybody, I hope you're understanding, guys. Can you please respond in the comment box? Yes. Vaishvi says, Kainat, is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay. Anyone else want to tell something? Your experience of mandalas, anyone? Anyone who has been in a state where, like you have connected to your emotions to the cells that you're trying to make? Guys, anyone?
Ma'am,
Yeah,
what I
Kaushik.
have discovered about while I was painting
Hmm.
those
Hmm.
grids, that it requires lots of patience.
Yeah.
So it can be very good to whenever we are dealing with anxiety or
Hmm.
restlessness.
Hmm.
It can completely induce mindfulness and also
Hmm.
improve our concentration.
Hmm. Hmm. I
So
think it's a later stage of the process.
yeah,
Of inducing mindfulness, of connecting to that circle and understanding what it's trying to tell you. But when you are in an immediate anxious state, I think what it works for me is like it releases some huge amount of tension.
yeah, catharsis.
Yes, the process of catharsis, absolutely correct. And I think it is something that helps me to immediately, like bring my thoughts somewhere back on track.
Centered, yeah.
And it is something that is coming from a very experiential idea, like like a lot of us have experienced this, and probably that is something that makes this process even more intrinsic to our own self.
Yeah.
Okay. Madhurima Ghosh, are there some guidelines to practice in which we can suggest to clients and maybe some problem specific? Okay, I'll come back to that in the later stage in the workshop. I'll keep this question in mind. Sana says, once I started making mandala, then quit due to lack of patience. Okay. Priyanka says, can you please go back to the BPT once again, the second and the third slide? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. For Priyanka, I'll just go back to the second slide, second and third slide. Okay. So yeah, the second slide. Okay. And Sana, what I want to tell you is like mandalas are basically not the idea of perfection. Okay, probably it's a very dominant way right now in the under the influence of media or mandala makers or designers who are using mandalas. Mandalas has never come to the point of, or has never, doesn't represent the fact that you have to make an ideal representation in terms of the pattern. In art therapy, we always say we are not looking for artists. We are using art as a medium where you can release certain negative emotions out of it. So if I as a person just focus on how good I am at making it, then the the therapeutic idea of it won't be connected to us. We won't be able to connect to what, how it is helping us to release the emotion, like how Kosha said, the process of catharsis. Sana, are you getting the point? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Priyanka, are you done with the second slide?
Yes, yes.
Should I move to the third slide for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, this is the third slide. You can go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Not an issue. And then I hope that everybody is understanding that this workshop is basically trying to teach you the therapeutic side of it and not the pattern making, not the perfection side of it. Okay. So now let's move on to the next section of the session today. And I hope that all of you have your a blank paper, okay, a scale, some markers, pencils, whatever you have. I think you have brought certain things that we asked you to. Yes or no, please type in the chat box. Guys, I hope you have a sheet of paper, pencil, compass, protector, fine liner, pencil, whatever you have. I hope you all have. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so I think the majority of you are saying a yes to me. There are 46 of you here, and I hope all of you have it so that we can, like try making a mandala. Aarti says yes. Okay. Okay, so I'll just wait for 1 more minute and we'll start, okay? Sana Kanwal says yes. Can't it be small one? Can it be smaller? Yeah, it can be anything. I just need a proper white space. Okay, no issues. The page can be small, your circles can also be small, no issues. Okay, guys, so I'm hoping all of you have it. So we will go to the next session then. Okay, yeah, welcome, Kainat. So, okay, so what I planned for you is like, we'll definitely try making one mandala here, okay? I definitely don't want you all to make a very big concentric circles. You can make it small, okay? You can just make it like in a very small space so that we can, end up fast with this. And so how do you go about it? So what I thought was like, I want all of you to sit properly in a space, okay, and keep all your materials in front of you. The white page, ruler, protector, compass, everything, and whatever coloring thing you have, you can keep it right in front of you and sit in a comfortable position, okay. I hope, because I can't see any of you, so I am not understanding. I would love everyone to at least switch on the cameras, whatever, like whoever can, so that I can at least understand that you all are sitting in a better position, in a relaxed, calm, composed position. Okay, thank you, Sagarika. Okay. Okay, so yeah, if you all can, it will be really helpful for me. Okay. Okay. So what we're gonna do right now is like, we're gonna like close our eyes for at least 2 to 3 minutes, okay, and calm down all our thoughts. And I'll take you to a very soothing mandala music, meditative music, so that you can focus and concentrate. Okay, so sit properly, comfortable position. Okay. And so when I play the music, what all of you need to do is like, close your eyes and focus in between your eyebrows. Okay, just keep your focus in between your eyebrows and connect to the song for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll go for creating our first mandala in the session. Okay, so sit comfortably and I am starting the music for you. Sit comfortably and keep focusing in between your eyebrows. Imagine a very small white light right in between your eyebrows, and keep focusing on that white light. Feel the energy.
Hi, Debjani. Sorry, we can't hear the music actually.
Okay, but I've played the music. Okay, just a second.
It would be better if you share the tab on which you're playing the music.
Yeah. I'm just doing. I'm just doing. Uh, can you hear now? Okay. Is it audible to all of you?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, so just sit comfortably and focus on the white light. Try connecting to the brightness, the calmness of the light. And slowly, very slowly, try releasing any kind of a negative thoughts or any kind of a disturbing thoughts, something that you feel that you there is no association with your positive self. Try releasing them. You can do it with the process of simple inhalation and exhalation also, while keeping all your focus on the light. Keep releasing all the thoughts and keep connecting to the brightness of the light. Focus for another 1 to 2 minutes. And slowly open your eyes. Okay. So just a second. So yeah, you want me to keep the music or you want me to stop the music before we try making the mandala? I am okay with either of it. Okay, guys.
Keep the
Okay,
music.
keep it.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you all feeling right now after the small exercise? How are all you feeling? How, like, unmute yourself and you can speak. Okay, let me just first take your relaxed with music. Yeah, I'll just start the music. I want to just speak and see how you're feeling. Relaxed. Okay, so how many of you are ready to make your first mandala in the session? Very small one because we don't have very long time. Okay, so I hope you're ready with your pen, your paper, right? Okay. So how we are gonna go about it? So whatever color white sheet of paper you have, just go in the center point of the paper. And I'll start the music roll view once again. Okay, and draw the small circle. Okay. Okay. So are you all drawing? Okay. So when you're done, do let me know. Okay, because I won't be able to understand how you guys doing it because I can't see all of you. So after you make the small circle on the paper, you have to put a point in the center of the page and then you have to make the small circle. The first small circle I'll show you because I don't know how many of you are aware of the process. So better for me to show this to you. Guys, can you see my circle? I don't know whether it's visible to all of you. It's in the center. Like if this is the page, this is the center, okay? Okay, and from the same center, just make the concentric circles, 2 or 3, probably 3 to 4, whatever you want. I'll show you from my art so that you all can understand. Like, see, this is how the concentric circle should look like. Okay. Just a small one. You can just go for 3 big concentric circles or 4 big concentric circles, and you can use the distance between the circles. It can be according to your choice. There is no rule. There is no such rule that it has to be in the same space. You can make bigger concentric circles, and the later one that you're making might not have the equal space. If you can reduce the space, you can increase the space. Up to you. Okay. Okay. All of you are done. Once done, do let me know because I will not understand. Do you guys want me to write the steps in the chat box so that it becomes helpful for all of you? Okay, I hope all of you are following the guidelines. Okay, say a yes or no. You can unmute and tell me. Okay, so right after you are done making the concentric circles, what you do is like put the scale on the point that you have made on the paper. Divide the circle into 2 hemispheres like this. So if this is my point, I put the circle here in a horizontal form and I divide the circle. See, sorry, it should be straight. Okay, make the scale straight, and divide the circle into two hemispheres. Understand? You guys are understanding? So should I show you once? You can do that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I don't know whether you can see or not, but then a line in between which will divide the circle into two hemispheres. Okay. And after you're done with your hemisphere divisions, put the protector on the main point from where you have drawn the first small circle. Put the protector there, a 90-degree line, put it over that small point, and an interval of 30 degrees, okay? Like 30, then 60, then 90, and so on. Keep dotting over the concentric circles that you have made. Understandable?
Ma'am, in case there is no protractor, we can do it like
Yeah,
randomly.
right now if you don't have it, just adjust at a degree of 30 degree, okay? Like just imagine 30 degree, chota spaces, and then you can just move ahead, okay? Keep the protector right in the middle of the point, the first circle that you have done, and then put the degrees all over the outer grid, like sorry, outer circles that you have made. Okay, Vivi, I can't see that. I am sorry, as I can't see that,
Sorry,
but
I
I.
wasn't showing. I was looking for my eraser.
Okay, okay, sure. Ronak, yeah, Ronak, please go ahead.
Hi, I want to ask this protector thing we need to use this to make partitions, right? Of the
Yeah,
circles.
no, no. First, you have to make the points before we make the partition. See, this is
Mm-hmm.
my art. Wait one second.
Yeah.
So you see, this is my all my concentric circles, right? So
Mm.
just the middle circle, the first small circle that
Yeah.
we have made, we have to put the protector there.
Yeah.
We have to make the angles at 30 degrees. See, you have to just
Okay.
point it. Just put a point over.
I actually am very familiar with the mandalas, so I make my partitions by making the horizontal lines.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I make the
We have
diameters in
already
the
made the
entire.
horizontal line that I've already told you.
No, no, I'm saying the angles that you're telling me now. I make the lines on those
You
angles
can,
as
you
well.
can. You see, if you are like,
Okay.
I think you are very good at it, but then a lot of people are not, will
Yeah.
not be able to make the straight lines like, with the grid that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm
everybody
asking.
will.
Like, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah, you can go ahead. You can
Okay.
directly go do that. There's no issue about it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And once you're done with that, guys, what you need to do is like, so once
I
you
had a
got,
question.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, this angle thing you have to make on the first circle only, the smaller
No,
one,
no,
all
no.
of them.
You just have to put it on the first circle, the point, not the circle, the point that you have made to create that first circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put the protector, the 90-degree, you can see that the 90-degree line, put it on that point, and then make the angles at 30-degree interval, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can you see?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Put it over there in the small point that you have made. Yeah, yeah. It's right. It's right. It's absolutely right.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I was asking. So it has to be just on the out one
Yeah,
circle or all
outer
of
one.
them?
Outer one. Outer
Oh,
one. Yeah, yeah. Once you're done with that outer line, I kind of, you can show this to everyone. I think it's perfectly made also because I have not seen anyone else's. So you can just switch on your camera and show it once to everyone. Yeah, guys, see, this is the point that you have to make, which is beautifully made it. Now what you have to do is like use your scales and put it horizontally like this from the center point and connects all the dot that you have made around the outer circle and make the grids. Okay.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the last instruction?
Okay, the last instruction is like you have already put the angles, right?
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
take the ruler like the scale
Mhm.
and you can put it like this. And then draw from the midpoint, connect to all the angles that you, the pointer angles that you've made. Just draw the straight lines.
Okay.
Like this and divide it into 8 to 9 grids, whatever grids you want to. Okay, by the way, I really can't see yours. I don't know why. It's very light, but yeah, I can see like the shade of it. So yeah, it's okay. It's perfectly done. Rukaya, Rukaya, you can show it. You can zoom in and show it to others because yours is more visible, I guess. So see, there is a formation of the grids, right? The 8 folds that I was talking about. I follow this way, like I basically made the grids into a bigger, with a bigger space. And then you can also, like put grids in between the bigger ones. That's up to you. Okay. And once this is done, we can start with the patterns. The pattern that I was trying. So your small circle, you can start with a flower pattern. Okay, I'll show you some patterns that I have drawn. I can show them to you so that well, you can take ideas from this pattern, see, that I have drawn. You can make small flowery pattern in your first small circle. Right? You can see the pattern, see whatever patterns you can see. You can use flower patterns, you can use line patterns. You can just draw lines and you can color them into small, like you can also divide them into small squares and color them into whatever color you want to. You can go for leaves, 2 petals like this in 2 sides facing each other, something like that you can create. See, there are certain leaf pattern that I have. Whoever can see can use them. Leaf patterns here. Whatever geometric patterns comes to your mind, connect to the thoughts, connect to all the positive thoughts that you tried creating in the space. And whatever pattern is instinctively coming to you, connect to it and draw it in the flow. Don't focus on the perfection of it. Use whatever colors you want to. Okay. Focus on the music while creating the patterns. It actually helps a lot. Okay. I hope everybody is making their first, I don't know, first, second, whatever, I don't know, but everybody is trying to make the mandala right now. Once all of you are done, please show everybody or share with us your mandala and how did you feel while creating the mandala. So, guys, how many of you are done with some patterns, with some feelings, with some emotions, with whatever thoughts? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Kosha, that's beautiful. Oh, yes. Thank you, guys. Looks really nice. Anybody else who wants to share the screen or like, show me? Ruka is really nice. I just wait for another 2 minutes and then Babita, yeah, it's beautiful. And all of you are showing me. Kanath, I've seen it's really nice. Kanath, thank you for your participation. And everybody was sharing, their art. So when I asked you after some time, please unmute and share your feelings also, okay? Okay, Shibu. Oh wow, that's a beautiful one. It's really nice.
Stopping this hair fall. Can't wait.
Try a natural shampoo.
But uske visible results? Too much weight.
Only naturally hair fall shampoo works.
Okay. Okay, guys. Please share your feelings, your thoughts, whatever you're feeling right now after this entire process of, listening to the music and creating some patterns, connecting to yourselves. Fast, guys.
Very
Yeah.
peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah. Very peaceful. Yeah. Why will you tell me how you're feeling?
I am feeling good. Like usually, I used to feel very impatient, but right now, when I'm not concerned about being perfect, it feels good.
Okay. Thank you so much. I hope that helped you. Sana, yeah. Oh, wow. Sana, you colored it. Okay. How are you feeling, Sana, about it? How are you feeling after making the art?
I'm feeling very relaxed.
Okay. I think Sana just. Okay. Yeah. Sana, tell me. Sana, your voice is not audible.
I'm feeling very relaxed now.
Okay. 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 Thank you. And anyone else want to share something? Okay, I don't know your. It's Tech X Briha. Briha, want to tell us something? How you're feeling? Because I've seen your mandala also.
I was just concentrating because I have a long day today.
Okay.
My mind is it is moving from different works, so I just concentrating
You
because
can
I'm not.
also use, scribbling forms. Like instead of making patterns in those bigger circles that you're making from the small circle, you can use scribblings. Like
Yeah.
take the pen and do like this. It helps to release your thoughts. You can just do it. It will help you so much.
Yes, I do sometimes.
Yeah, it helps you. Then instantly just helps you. So yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else who wants to share? Aarti says I'm ready. Aarti, where is your art?
No, that wasn't for the completed one. I've
Okay, okay,
just done
sorry,
this much.
sorry. Oh wow. How you feeling, Aarti?
Very happy and relaxed as always.
Thank you so much for your participation. Means a lot to me. Okay. Okay, so guys, you all can continue, like putting and giving a lot of patterns and colors. Thank you, Kainath, for making such a beautiful mandala.
Actually, I'm actually a little worried. I know, like I just saw 2 3 people that colored it properly. I'm like, seriously, I'm so slow with this.
No, no, it's not. I think probably you're doing. I always tell connect to the thought. If your thought process or space is also like a thinking, probably something your mind is in a slow space. The
Mm.
patterns will also manifest into that form.
Exactly. Like I am noticing a lot of scribbling around in this now
Yeah,
because yeah,
yeah.
there are not a lot of patterns, but just scribbling.
Yes, yes. Because, from my experience, I've seen that my scribbling speed is also dependent on what my thoughts are in my mind.
Right,
So if
right.
I'm like in a very, like a lazy, daisy, negative mood,
Hmm.
so my scribbling will be like this, like this, like this. It never moves. But when I'm very happy and I just don't want to make the patterns, but I want to do something with mandala, my scribbling speed is also very fast. Yeah. So something that works, I think, in terms of how you're feeling and what are your thoughts at that point of time. Okay. Okay, guys, so I want to just tell you like, okay, you can stop here and you can actually finish up your mandala or try doing mandala in the form of scribbling and whatever you think is good for you and will be helpful for you, you can continue doing that. Uh, and I guess the last thing that I want to be like trying to tell you after we are done with making this mandala is like, so I have read like, how we are connecting mandala to psychology is like in the recent studies that we have come to know about how mandala can be helpful. It says that it is helpful in anxiety, like where your mind is very anxious. Keeping in mind the non-clinical aspect of is also very important, because I'm presently like trying to deal, like what I'm trying to represent here is also in a very non-clinical space. So like when you have very anxious thought, as I said, that it's a thought process through which your patterns will be manifested. So it says that in recent studies have been conducted on the impact of how mandala can be used in in reducing the the effect of anxiety, or sorry, impact of anxiety in human beings, and also to how it helps in enhancing our emotional state of being. So I think this is one of the very majorly discussed area where mandalas are being used in the therapeutic sessions by a lot of counselors. So this is one of the major usage. And if any one of you know any other aspect of mandala into psychology, you can also share that with me before I move into the next part of it. Anyone wants to speak about it? Anyone who knows anything? Anyone who has read something about it? Or what you can do is like, after making this, you can, go back and read certain papers on how anxiety and how mandala as a therapeutic tool is used in reducing anxiety. This is a very recent studies that has been conducted both in the West and also in India, where, art therapists as counselors are trying to pitch in the effect of colors and mandala in reducing anxieties. And as also mentioned that, yeah, Kosha, go ahead.
Ma'am, I have a question to you as well as Dr. Ria.
Yeah, yeah.
So, ma'am, usually we tend to use art therapy with clients experiencing neurosis or stress and all of related
Yeah,
things.
stress is yes.
Yeah. But, ma'am, what if a client has psychosis? Like, in such cases, what kind of therapies would work?
See, the thing is, if you ask me, I have not encountered a if a client is suffering from psychosis and how mandala can be induced into it. But then I believe the psychosis also state of an very intense state where it has to be first clinically diagnosed as well as
Yeah.
it has to be addressed to the clinical psychologist before we are moving into the therapeutic idea and giving them the emotional support. And I think Ria ma'am can address this question in
Yeah.
through her experience. Or I don't think, ma'am Ria ma'am, are you here?
No
I don't.
problem. I'll ask her next
Yeah,
time.
so and if you ask me, like I believe that there is always a space of both clinical non-clinical platforms, and psychosis being very extreme and intense, I believe it requires an attention as well as a proper guide from clinical psychologists. and then
Yeah.
probably after that we can think about, giving that emotional support. Even, like in cancer researches right now, the
Mm.
onco psychotherapists who are using
Mm.
art therapy as an
Yeah.
emotional to release
Yeah.
emotional distress amongst the
Stress.
cancer patients is also one of
Mm.
the very widely studied field right now, where counselors roles
Mm.
are increasing,
Yeah.
and they're trying to distress, like after a certain time when the chemotherapy is going on, when a person is, stage of accepting that, okay, I'm
Mm.
going through this, and how counseling and art therapy is being induced into this area.
Mm.
So yeah, I think it depends on the state of the emotional conditions the person is
Yeah.
in. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, guys, you can continue completing your mandala by today, tonight, or even you can practice this whenever you are not in a good space. And also, you can, like formulate this amongst your clients. And if any one of you have any questions in regard to the workshop today, please go ahead, because it's almost and an end of the workshop. So, anyone who wants to speak something, wants to share something, how was the session? How did you guys feel?
I just want to tell that your mandalas are beautiful. The ones
Thank
which you just shared, they're
you.
really beautiful. And thank you for this beautiful session.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Ma'am, can you give me an example of a scribble mandalas?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Uh, I'll text it.
Yeah, yeah. So, before we end the workshop, I want to tell all of you is that we also gonna have a workshop on zenticles, okay, which Ria ma'am and I think other members of the team will take up with you probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow. That you will be informed, and also I guess that it's almost 1.5 hours, and if there is no sharing that is coming from your end, or if you don't have any questions, and if you're done with making a mini mandalas, then you can leave the space. Thank you so much for joining with me, for staying with me, for being so patient with me. So yeah, bye. Yeah, Kusha, bye. Yeah, Kaina, that's beautiful. Oh, so this is so colorful. That's so
I, I
colorful.
I tried my best.
Yeah, it's the best. And then one thing is like, when you are making the art, like when you are like making the final coloring and all, the
Mhm.
grids that you have made in black, no, you
Yeah.
don't have to highlight those grids. Those grids are just to help you to create the design. You can, after you have colored all your designs, you can remove the grids. Okay.
Okay, okay. Actually, I personally did it because I was trying to make it a little more perfect maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can see, make whatever grease you want to with the pencil. But then if you
Okay.
don't feel like keeping it, like the grease are usually something that I don't keep, or the way we do it, we don't keep it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Rukai, just a second, I'm coming to you. So you can just erase it after the patterns are properly placed.
Okay, okay.
Grease are
Okay.
just giving a support to give those patterns in all those points, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Chingy, your question is not typed in the chat box, so can you please type it? And I think someone was showing me a mandala. I forgot. Oh yeah, Rukets. Okay, let me first see. Oh yeah, how you're feeling, Rukets? I hope this is your first mandala, or probably I don't know. This is something that you're doing for the first time.
Yeah, ma'am, it's the first mandala.
Okay, that's a special one.
Yeah,
I
I'm
hope from
very
here
happy and
yourself.
excited.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that from here, you get all the insights to enhance yourself.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you so much.
you. Thank you. Guys, anyone else?
I just want to say this. Like I've always seen books that have mandalas printed on them. Right. So this was actually a great exercise that we have learned to make it on our own.
Yeah. And the beautiful part is everybody can make mandala.
Yeah. And you can make
Everybody
it
can.
according to your own mood, according to everything what you like. So it's Perfect. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
yeah,
ma'am, for
yeah. It's
this.
absolutely perfect. Everyone can make. That's I think the beauty of spiritual art. It belongs to all of you equally.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kanwat, for your participation. Means a lot. Chingy, your question. I'm waiting for your question. If you can type it out, or you can like speak little loudly so that I can address the question.
I think she was asking if you can show an example of a mandala with scribbles on it.
Okay, so she wanted me to draw one for her. Okay, so I'll just do one thing. I'm just not gonna make it very perfect because I. So, Chingy, can you like? Are you here, Chingy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so can you see my this circles?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now when I'm talking about scribbling, so see, I'll just do one thing. I'll just show you. Give me a second. Shingi, can you see? I hope you can see.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I can see now.
Can you see like my the I couldn't do anything on the inner self that I represented. But there are a lot of outer thoughts right now in my mind. So I skipped it. I don't know why I did it. But then I started doing it all over here. Can you see that my very small circle?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
left
Yes, ma'am.
it. So yeah, guys, done. Okay, if you have no more questions, you can leave the platform and okay, yeah, go ahead.
Ma'am, are there any representations, any design show? Like
Sorry.
this design is related to something this. Suppose if you're drawing a flower, it is related to stress, something like that.
No, what is your question? I didn't get the question.
My question was, is the design related to something? Like if I'm drawing a flower, it is related
No,
to.
no, 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 no. See, the patterns are not related. See, as I told you, when you're making the patterns, suppose if my mind is giving me this feeling of circle, so my patterns will also come in a circular form.
Okay.
So if I am feeling probably very happy, like I'm connecting myself right now with petals, with green petals. So I will be knowing that the instruction from my subconscious is like draw the petals in the next grid.
Okay, okay.
Then I feel like probably putting some flowers. And at times when I'm not in a good mood and I'm like doing it, so I think scribbling, as I mentioned, is one of those very important, intrinsic point that you can move ahead with, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, you can leave.